you can see that I have no teacher computer connected. That means on a version 7, I'm teaching directly from the panel, or on a version 5 or 6, from my Android ActivConnect or OPSG. Using the Google Play Store, I have downloaded the app for the web conferencing service that my school uses. In this example, that is going to be Google Meet, but you can also use things like Zoom, WebEx, or whatever service your school uses. So let's say that I'm teaching a civics lesson on forms of government, and maybe some or all of my students are joining virtually. I want them to still be able to follow along with what I'm doing with my classroom panel, and I can do that by sharing my screen using whatever web conferencing service that my school uses. So in this case, that's going to be Google Meet, and I've already got my materials ready. You can see that I have my PDF pulled up here, and we're going to start by going through the reading on who rules the different forms of government, okay? But I want my students to follow along, right? So I'm going to go into Google Classroom, and I'm going to choose to start the Google Meet that way. When you do that, it prompts the Meet app anyway, so you could go just directly to the Google Meet app or choose the meeting link in your Google Classroom. However you would like to do that is fine. So I'm in my civics class, I'm going to hit the Meet icon up in the top corner, and then it's going to start running that through the panel. Once that loads, then you're ready to join into the meeting. Little combo here. Notice no picture is coming up and no sound is happening because the panel doesn't have a built-in camera or audio. So how I like to tackle that so that I don't have to have an additional device or mic or something like that plugged in, I use my teacher device and also join in the same meeting using the same username. Don't need 2 different accounts. I join here. So notice I've got my camera off and my mic on because my audio is going to come from the computer. On this side, I'm going to go ahead and turn both of those off just in case any feedback, anything like that, but you shouldn't have an issue. And then I'm going to go ahead and join the meeting. Now that I've joined there, I'm going to join here. And now my students will be able to hear me because I'll be picking up the audio through this. So you could use a webcam or a document camera that has a microphone or just an external mic instead of having to use the teacher computer. But just notice, I'm not even plugged in, okay? So this is the way that I like to rock and roll with it. All right, plugged in there, they can hear me. Got my Meet here. Now I need to share my screen so they can see everything. So up in the top, if you tap the screen, hit the 3 dots, and then choose to present screen. It's gonna tell you everybody will see what you're doing. I want them to, so that's fine. Start presenting. And then another reminder, yeah, start now. There, good. So it's telling me you're presenting to everyone. So now, whenever I go into my PDF, my students will be seeing this on their screen too. You can see that it's even showing on my teacher computer, so it's a nice little way to kind of see, hey, are they seeing what I want them to be seeing? And I can also see that my students are logged in here. I can check that through the Meet app on the panel as well. All right, so we're ready to teach. I want to take some of this information here and I want to put it in the whiteboard so that we can have a little discussion about this first paragraph of the reading that we're working through together. Okay, so I've got it now in my whiteboard. I can use my pen tools, any of the panel tools that I'm used to using because they can see everything I'm doing. That's the beauty of it. So if we're going through and we're talking about this first paragraph, if you've compared all the governments in the world, would you find one thing in common? Someone is in charge, okay? Important to know, regardless of the government, someone's in charge. I'll continue going through my reading and then we'll just move through the lesson as I naturally would in the classroom. Again, everything that I'm doing, they are seeing on their end. That's the beauty of the present screen. And while I was in Google Meet, this works in whatever web conferencing service that you are using. Another little tip for you, if you wanted, you could actually turn your camera on your teacher device if you choose to set up this way and have it turned towards you. And that way they'd get a little image of you and you presenting your screen. So that's an option if you want them to see you. So let's summarize that. Google Meet downloaded on the panel, start the meeting, present the screen, and now everything that I'm doing to teach, my students joined in the Google Meet will see on their end. As you saw, I had my teacher computer joined in that same meeting to pick up the audio. Notice it wasn't plugged into the panel, I was just using it for 2 different devices to have that sound. Again, You can eliminate having a second device as long as you have something for audio with the panel.